Flute chromatic scale 2. Alright guys, so we've expanded your chromatic scale here with number 2. Remember number 1, we started on B flat and we played up to B flat. Well now we're starting on low F and we're going all the way up to high F. So we've added 5 notes lower to the beginning, right? F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And then we've added some notes to the top as well. We've added B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and then your high F. Okay, but really the middle of that scale, the majority of that scale, you already know from your chromatic level 1. Okay, so let's break it down and we'll work kind of measure by measure, saying and fingering and then playing like we've done, and then you can start to put the pieces together. Okay, first of all, remember for a chromatic scale that we must use a long thumb the whole time because we're going to be going back and forth between B flats and B naturals. So we've got to stick with long thumb, and then so in that case, remember that your B flat, we're using lever B flat for this. Alright, so make sure every time you play with your thumb, it's a long thumb. We're not going to be sliding our thumb back and forth. That's bad flute etiquette. It's illegal. Alright, we're going to be going back and forth between that B natural, long thumb 1 and pinky, and then remember we're using lever B flats, or on the way up, remember those B flats are called A sharps. Alright, so that's the B flat or A sharp fingering that we are using in this chromatic 2. Alright, so let's look at the first measure of that chromatic number 2. Our notes are F, F sharp, G, G sharp, remember that's the same thing as A flat, then A, and now A sharp is the same thing as lever B flat, then B natural, and C. Alright, so again, just think in your head, remember, G sharp, same thing as A flat, pinky, and then your A sharp is the other name for B flat, okay? So let's say and finger that first measure again. So think with me, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. Did you remember the A sharp was B flat? I'll let you write one of them in. If you want to write B flat over that A sharp in measure 1, I'll let you do that if that helps. But that's it. No other letter names. Let's finger that again. Ready? Here we go. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. Okay? Now notice this scale is also in eighth notes this time, except for your very last note. So no holding the first note, and we're going to be thinking in eighth notes like we have with our scales level 2. Alright, so let me get our slow-mo tempo. Okay, so let's now think F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. Alright, so in eighth note tempo. Ready, say, and finger. It's F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. One more time, measure 1. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. Let's try that. Ready? Down, up, measure 1 and go. Again, ready? Alright, so there's measure 1. Now let's look at measure 2. Now all of measure 2 should be a review from chromatic 1. Okay, so here we're starting on C sharp. Remember that's the same thing as D flat, pinky only. So C sharp, D, remember D sharp's other name is E flat. Then don't forget about E natural, F, F sharp, G, and you already hit another G sharp, remember that's A flat. Alright, finger measure 2 again. C sharp starts on pinky only, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. So you should have ended on like your A flat fingering. Okay, let's finger with the metronome now. Measure 2. Again, starting on pinky only. C sharp, D flat, same thing. Fingers ready, here we go. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. All right, let's play. Down, up, ready, and go. Alright, let's put those two measures together. Finger with me, 1 and 2, go. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp. Alright, let's try it. Two measures together. Down, up, ready, and go. The third measure of this scale is probably where you're going to spend the most of your time because, again, we have to put together some of these newer higher fingers. All right, so look at the third measure with me. It starts on high A. Then remember, A sharp is the same thing as B flat, so lever. Then B natural, C. Now C sharp, remember, same thing as D flat, is still bob only. Now, when you get to this high D, remember, this is where we need our higher fingering. So high D, long thumb, 2, 3, pinky. Then D sharp, so their name is E flat, so put everybody down. Then you have to get to high E natural. Remember, that's like E natural, but no third finger. And then let's go ahead and do the top note, the first note of the second line. That's your high F. And if you can do that, then you've made it all the way up this chromatic scale. Okay, so let's review measure 3 again, plus that first note of the second line. We're going all the way up to that F. All right, so A, then lever A sharp, then B natural, better still be on long thumb, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. All right, so really, if you can do those top 5 notes, the C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, you should be really, really good to go on this. You just kind of have to put it in that chromatic order. We've done it we've used those fingerings in our other scales level 2, but now we have the chromatic pattern where you can't forget the D, D sharp, E, and then F. Okay? All right, so now let's finger with the metronome. That third measure starts on high A. Fingers ready, here we go. A sharp, B, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. Again, ready, fingers go. A sharp, B, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. Let's try it. And ready, and set, and go. Again, ready, and set, and go. Alright, so now let's try putting all of that together from the very bottom low F all the way up to that high F. Now, if you're not ready for it, then you're going to keep practicing probably that measure 3, but I want to see if you're ready. Let's see if we can go all the way bottom to top. Alright, here we go. And ready and beginning. Okay, so that's all the way up. Break it down how you need to. Go back, sand finger all the way. Make sure you're not leaving any of those notes out. But I'm going to keep going. And now, look at coming down. So again, if measure 3, you had to spend some time on it, this next measure is probably another one you need to spend some time on. But same fingerings. But now we have to start at the top with high F. And then come down to E. Then E flat, D. Remember, D flat, same thing as C sharp, pinky only. Then C, B, lever B flat. All right, finger that fourth measure again. F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, lever B flat. All right, let's try it with the metronome. So starting on that high F, no naughty, and fingers coming down it goes. F, E, B flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat. Let's try it. Whew. Might be a little harder, start on that high F, but let's try it. Down, up, ready, here we go. Again, don't leave anybody out. One more time and same thing, go. Alright, let's keep going. Look at the next measure. You know all this now. We just have to say the flat version. Finger, measure 5, the one that starts on A, and it's going down to D. And say it ready, here we go. A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D. Don't forget, G flat is the same thing as F sharp. Try it again. Fingers ready, here it goes. A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D. All right, let's give it a try. Ready, and a set, and go. Oops, sorry, I was too high. Try it again. Ready, set, and go. Alright, and finally, look at the next measure plus the last note. Let's say it. Starts on D flat, pinky only. Ready, and a set, it goes. D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F. Ran out of air. Again, starting on D flat, here we go. D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F. Alright, let's play it. And ready, and a set, and go. So I went a little faster towards the end on the way down because if you can play it up, guys, remember it's the same fingerings, just backwards and in flats on the way down. Alright, so really break it down how you need to, but again, probably need to spend a little extra time on that measure 3 and 4 with those high note fingerings. But make sure you're saying and fingering before you play because you can't leave any of those notes out. Alright, now that was at our slow-mo speed of 40. I'm going to try the whole thing at 50 if you'd like to try it, okay? So a little faster. And then I'll try it at our quiz tempo 60. Remember, these are eighth notes. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Alright. 1 and 2 and 3 and... tongue up and slur down, and we don't hold the first note or the very top note longer. Totally different than like our scales level 2. Only the last note is long. Okay? Alright, so just so you can hear what it sounds like, here I go at the quiz tempo of 60. Down, up, ready, and... Break it down how you need to, say and finger, please make sure you're using the correct chromatic B flat fingering as well, alright? Happy practicing.